Hello, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut here, Brian Galke. I heard that the other day. Galke? I see Galke on the stage.
Yep. Well, that's the funny thing. I was with Steve last week, and
by the way, Aces53 if you don't know. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah. Tell us about your speaking adventures.
Oh, yeah. No, so I was, just since you said Galke, I was with Steve last week in Orlando, and they did Galke. I'm like, look, I know that's how Steve says it. That's not how you actually say it. But no, it was a good event. Good. It was a whole variety of different ones. So they do a lot of franchise work with people who own like home services type business. So, HVAC repairs. So they had a lot of strategy people on how to specifically do it. What are processes and procedures? Steve obviously talked about branding and marketing. How do you stand out? And then I taught how to build rapport. It was a good conference. Tell you what, it was freaking packed out there. So we weren't on Disney. We were at near Disney though. And there was the IAACP, which is all the entertainment people that sell to theme parks. So obviously Orlando is like their hot spot, but everything was super packed. All the venues were rented out. So people were wining and dining people. And it was everything from virtual roller coasters to all kinds of stuff, you name it. But I do have a funny story to share with you on when I took Steve to go get a drink afterwards. So,
oh, this is separate, not on air is what you're saying.
Story. Yeah. Oh, no, I can tell you the story now.
No, that's okay.
It's a fun one. We went across the street after the first night.
Well, the way you said it was like afterwards, right?
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't want to derail it, but screw it. We're already here. So we got done the first night. There was a VIP meet and greet with all the speakers. And we went across the street to Capitol Grill. And I ordered an old fashioned, and Steve ordered one. But he's like, I want to try mezcal and anejo. So the waitress goes, okay, well, about Clase Azul? And he's like, sure, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I want. So I bought the first round. I go to close out the tab. And for 3 drinks, it was $210. I'm like, that's odd. So I go and look at Steve's. And the old fashioned that they got him, they charged both of the tequilas separate. And so it was a $94 shot and a $53 shot. And so that was our debate with the waitress. We're like, okay, look, if a normal drink is $25, shouldn't you like tip people off if you suggest the tequila and go, by the way, it's going to be 5 times that? And one of the other bartenders stood up for her and goes, well, if he ordered that, he should have known by the name. I was like, well, no. The waitress suggested it. And so that's just kind of by doing that, we didn't want to eat dinner there the next night because it felt like just one of those things of give a heads up. We still ate there that night because we were there. But the next night we went to Del Frisco's because it just left a bad taste in our mouth. So the server did a one-time try to make extra money on the tip. And then instead that costs future business. So that was our question.
How do they make the money on the tip?
What's that?
How do they make extra on the tip?
Well, because if they charge, the more that they do, if you tip 20% instead of 3 drinks, that would have been
charging the most because of the tequila type. So they were charging you more for.
So a normal old fashioned is $25.
Right.
The
First of all, that's ridiculous.
The 2 liquors she recommended came up to be $153. So that was our point is it's fine that it came to that, but wouldn't you give a heads up just like, hey, by the way,
this is how much these are going to be per shot?
Only because she suggested it. Now, if Steve had ordered it by a brand name, it would have been upon us 100%.
Right.
But then when we said, hey, this is kind of weird, she goes, well, I only charge you a half, a 1.5 and 1.5. So really you got cheaper. If you want me to fix it, I can charge you all 3 for the more expensive one, but it's going to cost you more. I'm like, that's your double down. So it was just we had the discussion afterwards. It is, if you suggest something, should you give people the heads up or not? And that came to the debate. And we're going to do a video on it just kind of for fun, just get people's opinion on it. But it was a very funny story because I swear every time I hang out with Steve lately, like the last one, we were in New York and I was hopping with them in the Uber and they realized they're going to the other airport. So I got kicked out of my Uber halfway to the airport. So,
yeah, it's always, sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So let's get into stuff. All right. So I don't know. So I've been messing around with Go High Level, and they have a store now, and they've had a store for a while. And I've been looking at, so my Operation Firewalk, a couple of things that we found out, that you can have logos mated through ChatGPT. I'm like, what if we can create a t-shirt?
Oh, okay.
And so, but I'm going to show you the vet version first, if you're up for it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, and I did have I can do the Operation Firewalk first and go to the vet one afterwards. All right. So share present. So, I mean, it'll do, we're again limited by what we ask it to do.
Right.
So, all right. So I told it what I wanted to do, and then it gave me design, blah, blah, blah. First it said I can't do it. I said, well, try. So there's what it came up with. Marcia's like, it looks like he's going into hell. I'm like, it wasn't the point. The point was then I had to do some more different things, and then I limit it down. So that's not bad. I mean, you can play with it some more, but for the fact that it came up with this on its own I told it to search my operationfirewalk.com. I need to come up with and then I said, let's put a little boy there. Now the boy is on fire. And then I told her to give me different versions of it. And again, so there's some stuff I could use this. And then I said about a family where I said great wrong. And then, Yeah. So, but I'm just saying there's a few that would work and you can play with. But then I wanted to do some vet ideas because I wanted to do t-shirts for vets. And I don't know if you know this, but the Army Navy game's coming up, and the new uniforms for each one are based off of the Navy's off of the Jolly Rogers thing. And so that's how I said, well, I want to incorporate that into some t-shirts, and that they brought that information up, and then it created these, which I thought was fucking amazing. Here's my language, people, if you don't like that. So this is for Helping the Brave podcast.
That's cool.
So what this is based off of those same thing that I just showed you, the different events that happen for veterans, and he created these. I think these would be perfect. Yeah, clean them up a little bit, but it was just playing around. But what I'm getting at is you can also have it write the descriptions for you. But then I had to do some other ones, right? Again, I didn't get into cleaning them up. I didn't care. And I kept asking it for some more. And then I asked it, let's have suicide awareness. But of course, that's against our policy because I asked for 50 a day, right? I don't know what this is like. I think us and Russia getting together. But I'm just saying there's so much you can do with it that, you're not alone. And then I'm like, you know what? I say this, let's do about veterans benefits, blah, blah, blah. And I'll clean them up. But it was just one of the things I say all the time is if you were on Helping the Brave is if you were under fire, you would ask for air support. So what's the difference? Why don't you ask for help? So, so
that's a good one.
Yeah, that was the first one. There's the second one. But then I was like, okay, they're getting too much of the air, so it can clean it up. But then it was like, oh, this is like an Army one, Black Hawk. All right, let's do one with Black Hawks. All right, let's do one with the Navy. I'm just saying it's amazing what you can do with this stuff if you actually just ask it to do something. Are you there?
Yep.
You were looking at something else.
No, my screen was popping. I could see it, but it's so small. I was trying to adjust the screen for it.
Oh, no problem. I'm just saying it's amazing. So it's getting to a point because that's the dolly part. And I think I was telling you about the chat. You told me a long time ago that Joe was creating GPTs. Yeah. Right. And I created a reverse mortgage website, one where it comes with the verbiage for you if you're doing that type of thing. Then a podcast coaching one, course creator, social media ads, course follow-up email, letter of explanations I need all the time in my business. So I made one that could be anybody could use. Just drop in what the underwriter writes, it'll write it for you. Then the other thing I was working on is a lot of the real estate agents do descriptions for the property, but they use ChatGPT, but it's a new one every time. So I created one that would actually search, get the description. You say, yes, that's correct. Here's the thing I want changed. And then it will print out, it'll do the description, the social media posts, everything you'd want. Yeah. So, and I've been playing around with that kind of stuff.
I haven't played much in ChatGPT lately. I'll tell you what I'm working on this week is just watching everybody's Black Friday emails. What are they offering? What are they trying to do? We've talked about this before, but depending on when you click, that's how long if somebody's got an Amazon affiliate link, that's how long when you buy something for it. So I've been watching since Amazon does this whole week, instead of just Black Friday, who's been sending out emails that link to Amazon to try and get the affiliate fee. And then there's all kinds of theories on Black Friday, what you should do or not do. So I've been watching to see kind of what are people putting out there, because one is if you always do something, a big discount at Black Friday, are you teaching your audience to wait until Black Friday?
Yes.
Or do you just do a slight discount, or do you do no discount? We were talking before we got started. There's some people that are going to put up a post that here's my Black Friday deal, same price as every other day.
because I'm worth it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
and they might be
right.
But to me, Black Friday is what was I looking at the other day to sign up for? And it was cheaper because of their Black Friday deal. TubeBuddy.
What's that?
TubeBuddy.
Oh, TubeBuddy has something? I didn't see that.
Yeah. They have a Black Friday deal to go to Legend, and it's $34 a month instead of 68 on it if you go. Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to go look at that one. I know AppSumo does a huge thing where they ask, because I had a program on there once, their big thing, and AppSumo's usually got really good deals anyway. But Black Friday for them is a huge one. But yeah, I'm just kind of studying other people's emails right now, seeing what funnels are they putting out there, which ones are they not, how much are they discounting. Just that's kind of my fun when not working this week, trying to get back into the groove from being gone. But I think it's a good week to study how other people are doing their funnels, their emails on things. This is a good week if you have downtime to study other people and see what's successful and what's not.
Yeah, because I mean, the question is, what are they doing, and do you need to do it? I think for me, the Black Friday deals are usually if you're shopping something for Christmas. I'm not looking for deals for the other stuff, but I'll take it if I see it. I'm not stupid.
Right.
But again, if you're telling everybody to wait till this time of the year, then if you're trying to sell something throughout the year, they're not going to buy it.
Exactly. So that's why some people say I don't discount it, but they'll pick other days where they're not competing with other people, like the founder's birthday or the company's origination date. But this is historically known as a huge email week. And I've been seeing them come in like on my email over here. Let's say I got 5 Black Friday sale, 25% off for Black Friday. Some other courses there. So yeah, it's just an interesting week to study the competition and see what's working, what isn't. I was just here at Go High Level earlier this month. Ryan Dice was one of the speakers, and what was the company that they had out of Austin? Digitalmarketer.com. They blew up during the pandemic because they offered 90 days free training when we didn't know when the world was going to open back up. And that tripled their business because after people logged in and got value out of it, they were happy to pay the monthly fee afterwards.
Yeah, give 30 days then.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I had somebody reach out to me for, or actually I've been searching for a while for VAs, and they're like, we offer 7-day try it to see if it works for you, to see if we have the right people. That way you're not paying for it and then go, this sucked.
Right.
And
no long-term contracts until you test it.
And there's still no long-term contracts once you test it, meaning that it's a month-to-month thing. And the model I liked about this is they give you a team. If you need more stuff done, you can add another team, but it's not as expensive as the first team.
Yeah.
And then and they don't do everything. It's certain things. And if you want additional stuff, that's additional team because not everybody does everything. But
so what are you using them for?
Huh?
What are you using them for to test?
I'm testing them on, I needed 2 pages of my website combined. I have an approach page and then I have a mortgage services page. I wanted to put into one, and we'll see what happens. Supposedly they gave me 2 different, so I started last week. So I started on Friday. I think it started Thursday afternoon, but it was really, they're 9 hours ahead.
Right.
So it's 24. So it's 48 hours for your first website stuff. So if you're setting up, you're going to give them a website to do. They're 48 hours in the first page and setting up the colors and everything else that you want for them.
Yeah.
And then the additional 3 pages are within 24 hours.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So, and again, I don't need website stuff done all the time, but actually right now I need 2 websites done.
Yeah.
Me. A podcast one, and then I'm moving my mortgage stuff all under the lending for living one. I'm turning completely to reverse mortgage only to show that I'm trying to do more direct mail through website stuff.
Oh, interesting.
And because there's companies I know that do a lot more, but they just bought another company that was all reverse mortgage, and now all they talk about is reverse mortgage and on that website. I'm like, that's a good idea. So and then I have my loan squad, which I showed you the logo. That I showed you the logo, right?
No, the logo I saw last week was helping the brave one, wasn't it?
No. We'll talk afterwards. Anyway, I had the older one and I dropped it in ChatGPT and it fixed it, made it amazing. I mean, like everybody's like, holy cow, that's freaking amazing. I'm like, yeah, it really is. Just like my pod veteran for the podcasting. So I announced like 2 weeks ago, I'm doing a podcasting course, and now everybody's, when are you starting that? When's it happening? Well, I'm putting it out there to let people know I'm doing it so I get it done.
Right.
My goal is the first week of December is when we're starting the course. So if you hear that, we're starting the course first week of December.
Got it.
Yeah. Because one of the things they tell you to do is before you spend time on making a course, make sure there is demand for it.
That's the whole thing. Testing your market.
Yeah. Because I mean, why create a course nobody wants?
Right.
For fun.
Hey, I put something in the chat. I hear clicking. Is that me or you?
That's you.
Oh, okay.
On your side. Every time you talk, it clicks.
Okay.
It's like a even like that kind of thing, like with it sounds like sound or I don't know what it is. Yeah. Seems like it's like maybe a cord disconnected and connecting each time. Because when I talk, you can't hear it, right?
Well, no, I was hearing it when you were talking. That's why I was like wondering if you had setup change or anything.
Do you hear it right now?
No, it was just every once in a while. When you were talking about the logo, it was going so.
I hear it too, but I could swear it's on your time, and that's your side. This is the first time I've heard it, and I've recorded today many times. Okay. But who knows?
Yeah, might be mine. I think I'm gonna have to reboot the computer. I swear it's getting slower these days. Might be time to do an upgrade.
You need to check to see where they're doing a Black Friday sale for a Roadcaster.
Yeah,
that's what you need.
This
Before anything else, you need a Roadcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would make you sound so much better. It sounds good. You just don't have enough power. You need more power.
Need more power, Scotty.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got planned for the holiday week?
Work,
and more work.
Yeah, I've got to get a bunch. It's always picks up right before the holiday week for me. Thank God, because it's been kind of slow last 2 weeks. But it allowed me to do a lot of stuff I needed to do.
Right.
Like I don't know if I said, but I worked on my book over the weekend yesterday when it's finished, but it's cleaning it up and going back through and making sure it flows well and making sure I ended up adding a new chapter in there that I didn't have because so what I did is I took my book that I created, the veteran one, and then I took my personal one that I created a while back, and I told ChatGPT to scan both of them and see if there's anything I need to add from my first book that I don't have in my second book already. Yeah. And there was about 5 things it recommended.
Oh, yeah. Such as?
I'd have to pull up the damn thing.
Oh, that's fine. I didn't know. Well, something I want to go back to, because you talked about TubeBuddy, but I don't think people know what that software is for. You want to kind of talk about it a little bit?
It helps you figure out your keywords and a bunch of stuff, and helps you with to do all that stuff for your YouTube channel. Yeah. But I'm gonna back up a second. So I use Cast Magic, right? Mm-hmm. And if you use Cast Magic, they have their own script stuff when they run stuff like keywords and certain things. Mm-hmm. Just pause. And I went back in there and changed I couldn't change the ones they created, but I made another one right underneath it. And SEO keywords, top SEO keywords, versus just keywords. And there's a difference in the two ones there. Same with titles. It says title on when they create it, but I created one that was SEO titles. Mm-hmm. And so now, because I don't think people understand that if you're looking for stuff you're adding to podcast or YouTube channel, all those things, those need to be a keyword searchable source, SEO kind of thing that people are looking for. So it comes up, and so
you're using acronyms. So search engine optimization is SEO.
Well, if they don't know that, we're at the wrong place.
But yeah,
I'm like, I'm trying, and then I rearranged all my stuff because I had added stuff, and then I'm like scrolling, I'm spending 5 minutes trying to find out where it is on there. So I didn't know you could go in there and edit it, and I edited it, moved it all in the order that I do my stuff in, just to make it faster.
Gotcha. Yeah, I use TubeBuddy. I don't use it to its full advantages. I mainly look at I'll just go, okay, what are the videos at today? I just log in and say okay, what's my subscriber count? How many videos have gone up or down? But I need to really get in and play with it and see, is it worth upgrading to the one you were talking about? While we're on that subject, hashtags. So it's interesting that hashtags used to be the big thing for a very long time. But a few of the events I've gone to recently, people are saying either no hashtags or a maximum of 3 to 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was Stephanie Couch was at the Go High Level event. She spoke on LinkedIn. They brought her in for that. She's a fan of no or none, but she's like maximum of 3 to 5. She said if you do more than that, LinkedIn is flagging it as spam right away. And I saw Ryan Majin not that long ago, and he was saying something similar where he's not using hashtags at all in videos right now with what they're doing. It's weird.
Well, it's funny. Yeah. I'm sure. I don't even know if you really need them. It's the keywords that are more important than anything else, I would think. wasn't hashtags really originally put so that you could everybody could put this hashtag and everybody could find all those pictures under that hashtag?
Yeah, so it used to be that you could search by hashtags, and you still can. It's just not many people remember how to do that. But
So
like there was,
they have a purpose then.
yeah, I mean that's exactly it. So that it was just a search engine before you could actually go in and search. But it's interesting because I haven't tried to do that in Instagram or anything in a really long time. So I don't really know. I mean, other than search engine looking for things, I don't know what's in there. Like if you go and upload anything to TikTok, it asks you what hashtags you want to add. So I think they're still leaning on it quite a bit, but it's still a newer platform. But I'm hearing on Instagram and LinkedIn that the more hashtags you have, the more you're considered spam, because people would put in 25 different hashtags. So lately, people have been leaning towards none or maximum of 3 to 5.
Well, I would just put you in.
Yeah,
I would put your name in.
Right.
Especially you're under subtle skills, but you could put Brian Galke.
Right.
And
Brian Galke. I did see. Are you a LinkedIn guy or no?
Yes.
So I noticed now, instead of it used to be just universal, you clicked on the picture and chose, am I going to upload a video or a picture? LinkedIn is trying to get into the video market. So now you go down and you say, I want to do a video. And from what Stephanie was explaining, they're prioritizing videos now over pictures, which is a vast change.
How they do it live.
That's a good question. I wonder if it's like YouTube where it actually messes with your statistics.
Well, they don't even care.
Right.
YouTube doesn't care about your lives, which is horrible because you would think that they would.
Right. Because Instagram sure does. That's for sure. And TikTok, that's one thing I'm surprised. I've talked about this before, that StreamYard doesn't have a TikTok integration yet.
Well, it took them forever for Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's still not easy.
Yep.
I'm sure
it is definitely difficult.
But I mean, if you want to do TikTok, you just put the phone here, you put your phone there, and we just do it.
Yep. That's what I need to. I've got a fancy little, one of the things I bought recently is another, I guess you can't see, another arm that you can just put a phone on, but I haven't played with it a whole lot because it can't sit right in front of where this camera is. So it'd have to be a side profile if I was to do it. But
above,
another toy I got.
Above or below going up or above coming down.
Yeah. I never want to go down
next to your Avaya.
Too many double chins.
Right next to your Avaya.
What's that?
But can't you put it to the right of or left of your Avaya?
The arm doesn't reach all the way over there. I'll have to try and see if I can move it. So I just got this. It was a new toy to test out. But the problem is with the way that the stand-up desk is, there's not enough width that I have to put it either towards the front, towards the back. If I put it behind my monitor, then it can't pop up to where I need it to. So it's just trying to find the right spot for it. It needs a longer arm, kind of like the microphone does, where it can move a little bit everywhere.
Gotcha. All right. And this is holiday week, so we're not here on Thursday.
Nope.
Shocking. I know it's Thanksgiving. We're not working on Thanksgiving.
No.
One thing I was just thinking when I'm looking at the graphics, if you're creating graphics, this is just between me and what I'm going to start doing on there. I would try to do it without words first. Right. Tell it what you want it to create, and then you can always add the words later because it doesn't write the words perfectly.
Right.
No matter. And I think that's on purpose.
Well, because words can be edited. Yeah, I'm losing my voice.
Well, no, not when they put those on there. Even I showed you how to highlight them before, and you can replace them, but it never comes back to the same way it was originally.
Yeah,
font wise, and that way it's ghosted font or whatever you wanted. So, I would just say, just tell it what you want it to create. Don't add any words on it, and then that last one, add the words on. Try that.
Yeah. Well, words. Like you said, images is the most important part. Words can be fixed later on.
Yeah, you can add them. You can have your graphic person add them.
Interestingly, since you're going back to graphics, I saw a LinkedIn post Saturday, because I was flying back, and there was somebody who just gotten laid off, and she said, I now can already see after one day of being unemployed that creatives are no longer valued in the market. So then I went and looked at her profile, and she's a graphic artist, but their pay scales have gone so far down.
Wow.
Since all this type of automation is back in there. So it's what we talked about before is soft skills, people skills are what's going to keep people employed, but it's going to be a tough market for a lot of people. And that's just one example of a career that's been replaced by automation or AI.
Did you see?
It's only going to get worse.
Did you see Cossum's post?
No.
And he said everybody who is cheering on this whole AI thing and getting behind it is like when Monsuvius erupted and saying, look at the shade we're getting from that.
That's true. That's the thing that every conference I've gone to, AI has been the number one topic. Every single one. And that's what we're talking about. You're doing AI to get rid of a position or something you're paying for today. Well, guess what? We're all providing a service to somebody.
Right.
So if you're not getting on board,
I'm not doing it to get rid of something. I'm just doing it to get what my thought is out right away. And then I can give it to somebody else to make it right.
Yes. But you didn't have to go hire a graphic artist first and say, design these concepts.
No, because they would not know what I'm thinking in my head.
Right. That's what I mean. So
they can't work as fast as me.
Them to refine it, but jobs that used to be 100% dependent on the person are no longer there.
Well, let's put the people I just hired. Even if I give them a logo and say I just need a couple majors, a couple things changed to it, they're going to still give me 3 different revisions of it.
Yeah.
Just because I think that's just to show, hey, we still got talent.
Well, it's equivalent of look at what LegalZoom did to attorneys. And I'm not saying that LegalZoom can replace an attorney, but now people go get the documents, kind of have an idea of what they're asking for, and they go to an attorney for revisions and final versions versus going to an attorney starting from scratch. Like it's all these things that we can do research for, but it's just faster research, faster creation, faster automation of things. You and I talked about it. So you were talking about, Cast Magic. I use, Opus clips, and that's the whole thing. So I don't have to pay a videographer. Now I should be paying a VA to edit it and finalize it and publish it. But before you had to have a team to do those things. And now you can go either do it yourself or add on a person for much, much less to do something simple.
Well, it was such a major event to do it before. These softwares have made it easier for people to do it. So that's where, but there's still those people out there going to be huge creatives and huge different things.
Yeah.
It's like Paint by Numbers came out, didn't get rid of artists.
Right.
But I was able to paint something nicer. Right. So I just think you're going to have different levels of things. You're going to, it's back to where the mortgage industry technically is anybody can do it.
Yeah.
But not anybody can do what I do.
Right.
I mean, it's like I ran in a guy last week at an event I was at, and he's like, and he's a business owner, and he has, it's a huge thing. And he went with First Rocket Mortgage, and we can't do this. And then he went with a local person who helped them before, and then they tried and they couldn't do it. I'm like, well, let me look at it, because I look at things differently as a business owner, just like you do, and maybe there's something. And it's just a matter of how to get around a certain thing, because again, when he told me his income and how much he showed his income, I'm like, well, I ran the numbers in my head in seconds going, okay, well, I think the issue is this, not necessarily all that, but it still could be, depending on how they read the paragraph in there on the divorce decree, what it says. Anyway,
all the fun stuff, divorce decrees.
But I'm just saying again, Rocket Mortgage is AI.
Yeah.
Because they're not educated loan officers, and please don't take this wrong. That's just not what they're like. The bank, that loan person is not a loan person. It's a teller who thinks they're a loan person.
Well, it's like H&R Block versus being an actual accountant, right? Like I know people who got certified. It's a seasonal job. They go through training, but it's not their full-time job. They know inside and out. It's them putting things into a computer, but they're not. It's, again, you can put anything into a computer or software, anything like that, but you have to think differently about what you're putting in, why you're putting it in. And that's earned over time versus the training is step A, step B, step C.
Right. And again, I'm just saying there's going to be there's people like who needed to start certain things so they can get across, because I can get through what I want in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Many different revisions. Yeah. That's what I want. Send it to them. Here's the EPS file, create it, do all this stuff. I don't care if they charge me $500 or what they would have charged me ahead of time, but at least it's faster and done, and it's what I want.
Exactly.
Versus going back and forth for a week. The time is what kills me on all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
but not everybody can do that. You've gotten good at it and learned to think, how do I input it and tell it what I want? It can definitely get people started though, because before you just had to find somebody's logo you liked and then go, okay, I like Janine Driver's logo, so I'm going to go find me something close to that. And you had to give all the people like to create your website and everything. Give me some examples, then they go find it.
Well, you still do that to ChatGPT.
Right.
So I told it 2 websites I liked for my reverse mortgage and then blah, blah, blah. And it helped me kind of create, it didn't create the website itself, but it helped me get the certain way I'd want certain things there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand there's a lot of these people who supposedly have agencies under Go High Level. They don't have a staff. They have I want to say AI,
VA.
a VA. They have a group of, they pay so much per month and they send this stuff to them. I need you to do this, this, and this, and these landing pages. They're having other people do it, but they're acting as the actual agency, which is okay. But that's, I think most of the time people think it's their people and their company. They're this.
Well, people think that, but really it's kind of like you were talking earlier, and I can't remember if it was when we were recording or not. When you use VAs that are in another country, when we go to sleep, they can do work. So when you show up to work, the work's been done versus, okay, we got something today at 4:00. We'll work on it tomorrow. No, you're using the time advantage to get things done. I think Tim Ferriss was the first time I heard about a VA when I read 4-Hour Workweek. But back then, access to them was a little more difficult. And we didn't have in the software, you can give like guest access that you can restrict what they can do before you give like, here's my password that gives you everything. And now so many different things have a administrative password where they can make changes, do simple things, but they can't clear out your bank account and, change your host email and all kinds of things like that. I think that's what made it a lot easier now is there's a lot more safety mechanisms built into the software versus before you had to hand over the keys to everything to a VA.
Right. And again, it has to do with what are you looking for in your VA? Do you want somebody, I'd rather have a company who trains them. And, Awesome's gotten majorly into this, which is for, individuals through their companies, and they're trained really well from what I understand.
Oh, yeah.
And it's you get for what you pay for with him. It's Awesome. So, of course, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. He's an interesting guy. We were talking about him the other day. Like he travels and he stays at Redwood-Finn. So, because he's like, everything's logic. Well, why would I pay X amount for a hotel room when I can stay at this price? So,
well, that's him. What are you going to do?
Exactly.
Everybody's different. But I'm just saying the VA stuff out there, that's why companies are coming to train them, keep them. And then it's going to get to a point where they're not going to be cheaper anymore.
Yep.
And that's that whole thing about United States with manufacturing. It's cheaper to do it in other countries with children.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go. Nike shoes.
Well, iPhones. Forget the Nike shoes.
Yeah. Well, that was the one that everybody was famous for all those years ago was, Nike came under fire, 20 years ago? But you're right. So many companies do it. So,
that's the whole thing. And so again, eventually this whole VA thing is going to get to a point where the only difference is you don't have an employee to worry about.
Right. Well, that's one of the challenges. So many people, I can't remember who was talking about, they live in California. They're like, I will never have another employee. Yeah. Well, you're a good example of there's somebody else who was doing the same thing. They're like, I will hire VAs because the amount of benefits and things you have to go through to let go of someone is crazy. Now I live in the opposite state. I live in Texas where an employer can screw you over and just go, right to work state, sorry. But yet a non-compete still in place. And that's like saying, I want a divorce, but you can't date for 2 years. Look, if you can have one, you shouldn't be able to have the other. Like if somebody fires you and they don't give you a severance, then a non-compete should be dissolved. Well, now, if they give you a severance,
I would say it depends on what was done. If it was fraud or something else.
Oh yeah, if it's theft, if it's something like that. But like if they say, poor performance or positions eliminated. Well, if your position's eliminated and it's not your fault, why should a non-compete still apply?
See, California, non-competes don't work.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It should be one or the other. So Texas is a right to work state, much like Florida and a few others. So a company can say, all right, you're done today, but the non-compete, they can still hold. And so a lot of people, like when I worked at a former company and they did these massive layoffs, in order to get your comp package, you had to sign a 2-year non-compete. And people couldn't find jobs outside of the industry I was in. And so it's just for 2 years, severance is never 2 years. So it just seems like there should be a math way to meet in the middle of whatever your severance is. Let's say it's 3 months of pay, then for 6 months you can't work in the industry, but not 2 years if you've been in the industry for a very, very long time. So I'm just saying, if Texas wants to be a right to work, Texas should be and non-competes don't matter, depending on title. If you're C-level, executive vice president level, that's a whole different thing because you usually get, a compensation package coming in that you're agreeing to that. There's different, but as an overall general rule for middle management below, I think if you live in a right to work state, then non-compete should not apply at the same time.
All right, you done with that?
Yeah.
Because it seems like you're a little bitter on that one.
No, I had a friend who got laid off recently, and it's the same thing of they didn't get anything, but their companies hold them to a 2-year non-compete, and it just doesn't seem like it's a right passage.
I don't know. Yeah, I would move out of state.
Well, they were looking to make them illegal everywhere, but last I heard, that got shot down.
Yeah, well, eventually things are going to change.
Yeah,
our problem is you're an employee first. You're never a contractor in California. So even if you wanted to be a contractor, they've made it to where you can't be a contractor.
Gotcha.
The only people who are still contractors are real estate agents.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because that's basically mortgage people. We have to be paid W-2. How we get around that is everybody has a corporation.
Okay, that makes sense. Ooh, and this is just something I saw scrolling on Instagram the other day. I heard that new FinCEN document. Now they're saying it's unconstitutional and that won't have to be done. But I haven't heard that officially.
The what?
That FinCEN document that all companies that have an LLC have to turn in before the end of this year. Somebody said that it just got ruled as unconstitutional, but I haven't seen that officially, so I don't know if it's true or not.
I don't know. You have all December to worry about it.
Exactly.
And it's only 5 minutes or 20 minutes. It's not that big of a deal.
I saw that, but people are charging $299 to $1,000.
People don't know what to do.
Yeah,
that's why. It's that whole thing. If you don't know what to do, but someone says I'm going to do it, oh yeah, just go ahead and handle it for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I saw it was like $290. I was let's just fill out the form, but I didn't do it yet.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it can. I just think that's going to change with the new administration coming in.
True. I think that's definitely going to change a lot of different things. So,
yes. You going to take us out? Or you want to keep
going? No, we're good. So, like I said, for me, I'm going to just keep watching over the holidays. Everybody's Black Friday, what people are going to sell, not sell, you name it. What funnels are they going to do? What discount prices? You're going to keep working on your logo, Chat GPT, and see if I'm
going to finish my book up so I can get it out.
Right.
Yeah. And even that, I don't need somebody for my book. I wrote it without somebody this time. However, there's some last minute things I need done to it. I'm going to hire somebody for that.
Exactly. But you're not going to pay as much as you did your first time around.
No, I'm probably going to end up paying
1/10 of it.
Not even that.
Yeah. That's just what's changed over time. So,
yeah. All right, so I have other people who've left that company.
Yeah.
Going, we do it so much cheaper. And they're not that much cheaper.
Yeah. They're like, I'm 5,000 cheaper than they are. Yeah, no. All right. So when we're back next Tuesday, we'll have to hear about your VA experience, and will you be keeping them or searching for others?
Yeah, we're back on the 3rd.
Yeah. Is that the right day?
December 3rd.
Tuesday. There we go. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for listening to us today. As always, this is Aces53 with Ed Parcaut and myself. The best way to support us is to subscribe and share with your friends. And we're here on Tuesdays, Ed and I. Thursdays, we usually bring in a joker or a special guest to share a skill that we think you guys benefit from. So everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll see y'all next week. Thanks, Ed.
All right. Thank you. All right. Make it a great day. See you in a week. I don't know where my mouse is.